our next speaker is Leslie McBride. She will present a speech about an interesting topic of, she is PhD and DNM in a board certified holistic health practitioner in Santa Fe in USA. She specializes in biowell assessment and frequency specific microcurrent for the treatment of acute and chronic pain, injury recovery, etc. And she works both with humans and animals. So her topic and her speech will be about the influence of interaction with animals on human energy. So enjoy the presentation.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. I'm Leslie McBride. It's rather serendipitous that I'm here with you on July 5th, 2020, because the reason I'm here with you is that on July 5th, 2014, I fell and broke my leg during an early morning hike with my dogs. I had to hike home on it and the fracture was offset, so it had to be surgically corrected. My body did not like surgery. My body did not like the resulting orthopedic hardware. Because the surgical process was rather traumatic on my system, I didn't heal particularly quickly or particularly well. My conventional medicine doctors had no suggestions and no solutions. And so on my own, I found some integrative practitioners who treated me with integrative therapies, including cold laser, frequency specific microcurrent, touch, and even intention. And guess what happened? I got better quickly. I got better so quickly that I decided I wanted to learn everything I could about alternative healing and fostering health. So I took a few classes here and there, and then in 2017, I decided to enroll in Quantum University. Quantum is a small school that specializes in integrative medicine, and they incorporate quantum physics into every single class. Quantum physics was completely new to me. What I learned, and what you all already know, is that there is no difference between matter and energy. It's all energy. Learning that helped me understand why the integrative therapies had worked for me. Those integrative therapies address the energetic imbalances caused by the fractured bone, the soft tissue damage, the invasive surgery, the orthopedic hardware, all of it. Conventional medicine fixed my broken bone only. And I'm really grateful for that, but it didn't address any of my other injuries. So the wreck that occurred on July 5th, 2014, and I call it a wreck because I don't believe in accidents. That wreck led me to becoming certified in frequency specific microcurrent, certified to use the biowell. It led me to achieving a doctorate and PhD in natural medicine, and it helped me learn how to think outside of the box. Oh, and it got me here with you all today. So let's have some fun and talk about energy. I first saw the biowell at a Joe Dispenza meditation workshop, and I knew that I needed to use it in my dissertation research project. I didn't know what that project was yet. I knew that would come as an intuitive hit. And that intuitive hit did come a few weeks later. I was home scanning myself after biowell training, and my husband walked in and I blurted out, "Honey, can you help me scan myself while I'm holding one of the dogs?" He rolled his eyes, but he agreed to do it. And the results between the initial scan of just me and me with the dog were fascinating. And I'm going to show you those initial scans, but I have a question first. How many of you have animal companions in your life? I'm hoping most of you are raising your hands. Let's take a look at these initial scans. So my baseline scan was at 54 joules, and I jumped to 61 joules with no effort on my part other than touching my dog. As you can see, my energy field during touch with my dog softened and expanded. I interpret that as my body assimilating the incoming energy in a fairly smooth manner. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, by the way. So I measured average chakra size. My baseline scan, my chakra average was 5.1 joules, and that increased to 5.8 joules simply with direct steady touch. And I'll talk more about chakras in just a minute. My stress went from 2.88 to 2.81. Is that statistically significant? Probably not. But from a natural medicine standpoint, any decrease in stress is a positive decrease. You know, the less stress we have in the body, the better the body can function. Energy reserves. Energy reserves is an experimental parameter with BioWell, and I truly hope they keep it because I have found it clinically relevant, personally significant. Clients really relate to it. Let's take a look at the area diagram on the top two circles, which is the orange line. During my baseline scan, my orange line had some jaggedness to the shape, which indicates that my organs weren't all functioning at the same smooth level. Some organ systems were using more energy, some were using less. If you look down below at the dark blue line, that's during touch with my dog. That diagram completely softened and expanded. It's like the energy came in and my body was able to use it very efficiently. My energy reserves, which is gas in the tank for my journey, right? My energy reserves went from 73 to 94% with no effort on my part. Organ imbalance. I had 4 imbalanced organ systems during my baseline scan, and that dropped in half to 2 during direct steady touch with my dog. That's pretty important. As a natural medicine doctor, I'm able to, it's within my scope to discuss the autonomic nervous system, and I did approach my project from that standpoint. What I see here is that my baseline scan showed heightened sympathetic activity. Direct touch with my dog increased my parasympathetic activity or my parasympathetic tone and allowed my body to go into rest, relaxation, and restore mode. It essentially gave my body a break. Finally, I looked at immune system. The immune system is one of the cornerstones of our health, and the immune system has to be adaptable in order to function well. So incoming energy can be used to foster adaptability. My immune system energy increased from 4.37 to 5.5 joules with no effort on my part, simply from direct steady touch with my dog. So I was very excited when I saw this scan, and I figured I had my dissertation research project. I started scanning friends and family with dogs, but then I started wondering how other animals might affect the human energetic system. You know, dogs are easy. They're of relatively normal size, they're friendly, they're transportable. What about horses? Horses are big. Horses are big. Would a horse's energy be too big and essentially blow a human's energy off the charts? I didn't know. Have any of you spent time with horses? And if so, did you feel energized or did you feel calmed? I'm going to show you our first horse scan. Before I do, I will tell you this scan is with a male. He is a self-professed non-animal person, and he's not particularly comfortable around horses. I had to convince him to do this with me. He did so reluctantly. Let's take a look at what happened. His baseline energy was at 49 joules and jumped to 53. His baseline energy field, you know, it shows some activeness. It's got striations, he's got some flares. Direct steady touch with a horse helped his energy field expand and soften ever so slightly, and ever so slightly is a positive benefit. His chakra size went from 4.5 to 5.1. Again, chakras are inherently balancing. The chakras will take incoming energy and help distribute it throughout body, mind, and spirit in the most appropriate way that the body is calling for. This subject's stress went from 3.58 to 3.37. So again, likely not statistically significant. However, this person is a non-horse person. This person was a non-animal person. I sort of assumed we would see an increase in his stress during the scan. It didn't happen. We still saw the decrease. That in itself is significant. And again, any decrease in stress is a positive decrease. Let's look at his area diagram, which is the orange line on the top two circles. He had some jaggedness to his area diagram, which indicates, irregular functioning among organ systems. On the lower two circles, the dark line, upon direct steady touch, softened and expanded. On the upper level, his orange line was sort of near the orange part of the circle, which indicates slightly decreased energy. On the lower two, his energy diagram expanded into the green area, which is an area of more optimal functioning. We can see that in the energy reserves going from 53 to 69%. Again, this is gas in the tank for the journey. We all need more gas in the tank. He had a significant number, 6 imbalanced organ systems at baseline scan, but they dropped to 2 during direct steady touch with a horse. I'm going to remind you, he's a non-horse person. The fact that his body was able to relax is pretty astounding. And finally, his immune system energy went from 4.29 to 5.06, no effort on his part. This was all thanks to the horse. So I had my study. I'm going to scan humans, we're going to use horses and dogs, and we're going to see what happens. The most important part during this process was that direct steady touch was maintained at all times. If during any scan contact was broken, we discarded that scan and started over. We repeated scans whenever we could, oftentimes on different days and sometimes with different animals. The results remained steady and pretty exciting. I chose 6 variables to measure. I chose these 6 variables because they are easily correlated with general health. These variables they're universally familiar, they're straightforward. Most clients can understand these variables. For example, a client comes in, we discuss needing to decrease stress. We discuss needing to increase energy reserves. That's more easily understandable than the nuances of 12 separate acupuncture meridians. So I chose these 6 for the generalizability of them, and also because these 6 are amenable to rapid improvement, so I was able to see results quickly. Balance. So notice I did not cover chakra alignment or energy field balance. Any guesses as to why? It's really easy. Incoming energy causes displacement. It's that simple. I sort of anticipated the fact that donor energy would disrupt the balance in the energy field and it would decrease the alignment of the chakras. I don't perceive that as a bad thing. The chakras, being inherently self-balancing, are going to know what to do with the energy, and it's just a factor of using donor energy. We move through it. I didn't want outlying data. I left these 2 variables alone. So data, let's talk about statistics. Statistics isn't science, it is magic. A crazy Russian scientist taught me this last weekend, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because my data still looked really, really good. So my p-value my p-values were notable, as you can see. 3 of the variables had normal data distribution, so we were also able to calculate Cohen's d. The Cohen's d was really interesting. My worst measurement for Cohen's d was 0.8606, and that's really good. That's a decent effect size. The other 2 were even higher. What that says is that this study had effect all around. The other 3 variables had non-normally distributed data, so we did not calculate Cohen's d, but I still feel like the effect size was great. Let's take a look at the actual cumulative data. Energy field in joules. 100% of 34 scans showed an increase in energy. That's impressive for any size study. That's impressive for the animals that helped us do this. Chakra size, 100%, 34 of 34 scans showed an increase in chakra size. Again, this is important because the chakras take energy in and they know what to do with it. Our energy centers in our body want to function optimally. They want the body to function optimally. They will take it in, distribute it. So this increase in data, the increase in chakra size, I feel is definitely a benefit to human health. And at no point on any of the scans did chakra size go above the optimal range. Nobody's chakra sizes went to 7.5 or 8. Everybody simply went into a larger, better state. The stress coefficient was a little bit disappointing for me. Stress was only reduced in 82% or 28 of the scans. That's statistically significant. I thought it would be 100%. I wanted it to be 100%. I don't know. It's good. I wanted it to be 100. If we look at it differently, we can still see the decrease in stress. The range in reduction was 1 to almost 18%. That was also lower than I had hoped. I anticipated that people would see 30 to 80% reductions in their stress. I didn't see it. The average reduction was only 5.78. But from a natural medicine standpoint, any reduction in stress is a good reduction. And I'll talk towards the end of this about the cumulative benefits that may apply here. Energy reserves, 100%. 34 of 34 scans showed an increase in energy reserves. Energy reserves is extra gas in our tank to help us on our journey. The range of improvement in energy reserves went from very small to huge. Interestingly, the people who had the biggest gains were often the people with the absolute lowest reserves to begin with. Organ system balance. 73% of scans showed an increase or indicated an improvement in the organ system balance, meaning imbalanced organ systems decreased. So 25 scans showed a decrease in the number of imbalanced organ systems. 5 of those scans showed increased imbalanced organ systems, but 4 stayed the same. So 73% is statistically significant. I perceive this variable as a definite positive benefit to human health. If we can give the body a break from stress, fight or flight, and this helps it, that's natural medicine, right? Immune system energy. Energy within the immune system increased for 28 scans. It decreased for 6. Improvement was 11+%, which is great. And the decrease in those 6 scans was minimal at 4%. So again, I perceive this as a success. Increasing energy into the immune system helps the immune system with adaptability. So let's take a quick look at a couple of more case reports. This is a female dog lover only. You can see from her energy field, she's got some gaps, she's got some stuff going on, she's got some flares. It's not optimal, and her energy's towards the low end at 44 joules. When she was touching her dog, her energy field expanded, it filled in, it softened, and her joules jumped to 55. That's pretty amazing. Her chakras were also on the low end of optimal, and below that actually. Her average chakra size went from 3.8 to 5.4 just from touching her dog. She had a more noteworthy decrease in her stress. She was stressed during the scan, and I was very surprised to see this, and of course very happy. We will take any decrease in stress. Her energy diagram, the orange lines in the top two circles, was jagged. It revealed inconsistent use of energy among the organ systems. She had very low energy in a few organ systems. If you look down below, the dark blue line softened and expanded. Is it still jagged? Yes. However, compared to the baseline scan, she's still functioning in a smoother, more cohesive way. Her energy reserves were suffering at only 25% and jumped to 77% upon direct touch with her dog. That's pretty impressive. That's extra gas in her tank for her journey. She had a number of imbalanced organ systems, and those reduced by almost half during direct steady touch. Again, it's giving her body a break. Finally, her immune system was at the bottom of optimal at 4 joules and increased to 4.7. Now let's look at a healthy adolescent. You know, young person already has good health. What does she have to gain from this scan? This person was scanned with an unknown horse, and her energy went from 53 to 58. Now her energy field already looks pretty darn good, but upon direct steady touch, it expanded even further. Her body took the energy in and assimilated it. Her chakras went from 5.0 to 5.5, and I'm going quickly. Her stress was at 2.97 and decreased to 2.85. Any decrease in stress is a good decrease. This was pretty significant for her because she wasn't completely comfortable around this unknown horse. Her area diagram, the orange lines, looked pretty darn good to begin with because she's a healthy young person. However, on the bottom two circles, you'll see that it expanded and softened even more upon direct steady touch. Her reserves went from 57 to 75. And then her organ systems, she had 5 imbalanced systems and it dropped to 1. If she could regularly engage in direct steady touch with an animal and maintain this type of health throughout her life, who knows what that would do for extending her vitality and extending her optimal functioning. So finally, her immune system energy increased from 5.03 to 5.08. Again, we're increasing adaptability by bringing extra energy in for the immune system to work with. So why do I think this was energy donation versus energy transfer? Guesses? So in energy transfer, energy going between two beings, we would have seen high variability on the human scans. We would have seen some humans taking energy in, and we would have seen some humans giving energy away. We did not see that. In 100% of the scans, we saw energy coming in. So that leads me to believe that the animals really may be donating energy to us. We don't have a method to test the animals yet, although I hear that's in the works. So what do we know from this study? Interspecies energy donation is possible. We actually already knew that. It's been proven microscopically. This study, I believe, is the first study to show that it occurs between larger beings. The biowell allowed me to detect and measure those changes. The biowell, it's so accurate and so sensitive and so reliable and so capable. I couldn't have done this study without this instrument. It's sort of like a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. It's second to none. The biowell is an amazing vehicle to transport us to a new health paradigm, and we need to have animals along for the ride. So why does any of this matter? Energy is vitality. When we get old, when we get sick, when disease sets in, when we're under significant amounts of stress, we lose energy, we lose vitality. Incoming energy is incoming vitality. How do we use this information? So in natural medicine, everything should be personal, customizable, organic, generic. Natural medicine techniques should be able to be used by everyone. And this study has shown that it can be, with our age range, with male, female, all of it. In this case, this woman is meditating with her dog. We now know that that dog on her lap is changing her physiology. That's pretty cool. With her intention during meditation, that gives her a lot of opportunity to heal. Therapy dogs in hospitals, they've been used for years. Now we know they're actually healing these patients. You know, there's a psychological and emotional component to having animals in our lives. It's just so much greater than that now. And our beloved elderly, our relatives, you know, people lose energy as they age. It's part of the natural aging process. We can restore some of that with direct steady touch from an animal. So animals are natural healers. We know that now. At no point did any of the energy from the animal push any aspect of human's energy off the chart. All of it was really appropriate to what that person needed. And what's more interesting is it appears to be an unconscious offering. The animals did not appear to show intent to help us. You know, in human healing, we often have to set an intent so the energy goes where we need it to go. The animals were just there. Sometimes the dogs were asleep. Sometimes the dogs were watching TV on a couch. The horses were busy eating their slow feed hay snacks. They sort of just give us this energy. What don't we know? We don't know how long this donated energy lasts. You know, if you're writing a thesis or a dissertation, you have to be hyper-focused on your hypothesis. So I did that, which means I did not do follow-up scans. I did not do scans to determine, are these benefits cumulative? I would love to know. They may be cumulative, and if they are, that's a testament to sleeping with your dog, right? Have that energy coming into your body all night long. We also need to know if the animals are losing energy. If they are truly donating, are they losing? Hopefully we'll be able to scan them soon. So in closing, you know, to integrate means to combine parts into a whole. And when we partner with other living beings, when we integrate with them rather than exploiting them, it sort of brings wholeness back to us. It's like a lit candle and we bring an unlit candle. The flame from the lit candle doesn't diminish. It actually grows as it lights the second candle. Animals appear to do that for us. So go home tonight and love on your animal companions and take in some healing energy. Thank you for being here with me today. I had to go fast. My email's on the abstract. Feel free to follow up. Thank you all very much. Bye.
Okay, so very interesting report about the interaction between human beings and horses and dogs. Well, there are many questions about this research, I would say, still. and there are a lot of questions remaining, as Leslie has pointed out. And we wish her good luck with her thesis and with her investigations in the future.